Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's a social production. We're doing it on Wednesday, September the 25th, if I'm not mistaken, 2024. Oh man, we're almost there. Where? Somewhere. If you're just joining today, if it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram. Follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel if you'd like to get the full-length videos. Check out patreon.com/RobSadra if you'd like to fiscally, financially support the show. If you've been with me from the get-go, sending all the love right back to you, the day ones. And we're a tiny little syndicate community, the global sensational podcast that's a bit of comedy, bit of this, bit of that, bit of everything, really nothing at the same time. So if you're like wondering what's it all about, buckle up, buckle down. Like I said, join in, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell a stranger, make a friend, tell a friend, tell a new friend, tell an old friend, if you like, but subscribe nonetheless. Hope you're all doing well, wherever you're tuning in from. If it's Canada, if it's down south in the United States, further down south in Mexico, South America, over there in Asia, Europe, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Portugal, over there in Finland, my Finnish people, my Scandinavians, over there in Chile, back to South America again, over there in Madagascar, Caribbean islands, the Koreas. What's going on, world? Hope you're all doing well. Hope everybody's having fun. We are it's midweek. Let's get a sip of this coffee. There's a lot to talk about. We'll see where it takes us. Let's just shout out a few of our supporters. Shout out to the ladies. Shout out to the ladies with the burning yeast infections, holding it down, waiting for it to go down, waiting for it to simmer, waiting for it to, stop itching. So you can get down to business. Also, shout out to my mans out there. Shout out to all the gents out there. If it burns, don't worry about it. Wash it out. Wash it out. See a doctor. If it continues to burn more than 3 days, see a doctor. Or take it upon your own hands. You got WebMD. Doctors are no longer even sitting down with you. They're doing it by us. You just call your doctor. You just call a robot doctor. Take a picture of your cock. Put it on the WebMD website or a similar website, really, and just get it diagnosed. Have somebody reach through the webs. If we're gonna have that soon, where you just flash yourself through, we're about to get there. And I don't know how long it's gonna take us, but we will eventually get where you can just have your phone and then have a human hand reach out to you and do whatever work you need to, whether it's a little bit of maintenance around the house or whether it's a little bit of medical procedures. Just a hand coming through, because who has time to travel? Unless you're a fucking time traveler, you got to collect points for traveling. I don't even know where we're going with this today, but we'll see where it lands. Let's get a sip of this. I've been, so many things are happening. So many global things are happening. So many personal things are happening. So many things that are happening globally, personally, collectively, individually. Do we beat the drums of war, or what's going on in the Middle East and also Europe, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on? Do we officially call it World War III, or do we just at one point, do we call it World War III? It's not obviously I don't want it. Personally, I don't want it. Most sane people around me don't want it. Lebanon just got it was Hezbollah that they died. It was a lot of thems. 400, 500 of them died. But nonetheless, the wars are, if you're well, how to make a buck during wartime, to learn from past wars, instead of just selling to one market, sell to all the markets. So that if you're oh, I'm an independent manufacturing company, I happen to, I make tools. I make equipment for random, I make pieces of equipment get rid of it, clear the conveyor belt, make weaponry, sell it to everybody internationally, because a lot of times, again, people would be oh man, I got a hand-me-down business from my great granddad. It's a small independent mom and shop weapons manufacturing companies, but you only do business with one side. Do business with everybody. If you got to make shell companies, make shell companies, because business is still booming. I know apparently there was a UN meeting somewhere. I think Zelensky just paid. I didn't pay attention, to be honest with you, because I'm gonna just based on feelings, just vibes only, guts, feelings only, vibes. Some along the lines of war is about to end, but we still no definite date as to when it. But we need more. So we need more money. That's how you end it. More money, more weapons, and more just fighting. We end the war with more fighting. But these are all complicated questions with lots of nuances, which I don't know anything about anything. All I'm just saying, if you're just an average person, you're like, how do I make bank right? Again, get into weapons manufacturing companies and do not isolate yourself to just one market. Sell it globally, because like bigger companies will do that. I think if I were a big company, I'd do that, because I'd be like, I got all these weapons and I'm only allowed to sell to X amount of countries. How do we get around that, lawyers? Shell companies, and then you sell it to the shell companies who's selling it to another shell company who will sell it to the adversary. At the end of the day, you end up with the bank money. As how I would do it if I were weapons manufacturing companies, globally syndicate weapons, but I'm not. So I missed that boat. Or did I? I don't know yet. We'll see. Yes, start small, like the little tiny bullets, and then like work your way up to tiny little grenades. Eventually drone, if you want to just fucking skip the, you know, hand-to-hand combat mode, just go into drone shit right now. It's popping. If you can get someone, like if you put your kid through university, son, they're good with the programming, and they get them to make a drone that is undetected with it, which says like, hey radar, can't touch this, can't see me. Go a little John Cena with the radar, you know what I mean? Just fly under it. Or something, get your kid to make a radar that is also able to pick up the drones that your kid also built that are undetectable, so that they can now be detected. It just keeps getting better. There's just more room for business, is all I'm saying. Is I don't know what we're doing globally speaking. There's been meetings, continuous meetings, and we need more money. I don't know who to collectively, we all need more money. Ukraine needs more money, apparently. A lot of other countries apparently need, every individual around the world needs. Go to the UN, ask for money is what I'm trying to say. If you're like, how do I make bank? Just go to war, be like, I got a war with these raccoons in my backyard. I think this is gonna end in a couple of years, but it'll take a couple of million, you know what I mean? And a lot of support from everybody, really just bring everybody together, I think. But that's just, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Let's just get right into it. Start building, start creating, that's what I'm trying to say. Bring people together, it's good work. It's good, honest work. If you got a grandma who likes to knit or can make parachutes, you know, grandma, made in whatever stamp, be like, it's not made in China, this one's made in fucking, you know, wherever. Just saying, putting ideas out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just get right into it. I did see a little tiny video on the lines. But before we even get into that, let's just take it a little bit slow, shall we? Slow it down for a second, if we can, together. Brothers and sisters, of course, I watched a little bit, oh man, I watched some good television, which to your boy, good television is essentially what? You know, when they do like, an apple equals 2, and an orange equals 3. What is an apple plus an orange? And then you got to be like, an apple is 2, an orange is 2, the apple plus an orange is 5. And they're like, okay, the banana is 7. What's 2, 3, and 7? Well, you got to multiply first, carry to 2. And then they were to show you a picture of good television. They're like, what is good television? Equal sign. Answer is, give you 5, 4, 3, 2. If you didn't drop it by now, it's family. Good TV equals family. Good TV equals a warm hug. Good TV equals relationships, not like real relationship, but like close enough. Good TV is family. And it was good because I watched good TV on Sunday. If I'm not mistaken, it was Sunday. It was on the weekend. I can't really, but maybe it was Saturday. Maybe it was Saturday, maybe it was Sunday. But nonetheless, I watched some good TV. The Penguin. Shout out to the HBOs. HBO puts out bangers. And it's just, when I watch good TV, fucking, they turned Colin Farrell to a penguin. He's no longer beautiful. Colin Farrell is hideous now because he went full committed to the role, full committed. He's now a full furry, but like he's still like human, but he's a penguin now. God, I love that waddle up the stairs. The relationship, the mentor-mentee relationship, fucking again, father-son, but not really. Again, touches your boy right here, somewhere in there. I need a shot. That's fucking good acting from everybody. Loved the first episode. Waiting for the next ones to drop. Oh, fucking HBO, just right there. TV, family. So I did that. That was weekend. That was a little bit of just living on the wild side. Living a single life. watching TV by yourself on the wild side of things in 2024, because people are still wild, like, you know, monitored a lot, but wild nonetheless. But it's good, TV's good, family's good, however you get it. Get it where you get in, where you fit in. Fit in where you get. Ladies and gentlemen, I did hear, let's now get into it, shall we? Please, let's get into it. I did watch a little teeny tiny video. I didn't know if it was, I did a little bit of research because I'm like, is this thing true? Are we implementing these in our schools? I don't even know which country it was. I think it's gonna be somewhere in the Western Hemisphere. Somewhere in Western society, maybe the US, maybe Canada, maybe Europe, I'm not quite sure, but they're apparently implementing screen rooms for children in some schools. I don't know if it's true, and I did give it a quick Google search. I didn't see anything coming up, but I did. Similar results that were, you know, in correlation. Rage rooms came, they're like, are you looking for a rage? I'm like, no, I'm not personally looking for a rage room. I'm just looking at screen rooms because it's a new thing I didn't even know existed. Screen rooms. Because I've seen the other videos where you know, when you do the women's only retreat, you take a bunch of ladies who are like, you know, no deodorant, no shaving, which is like your boy's kind of woman. But then again, really any kind of woman is your boy's kind of woman. But that's aside of it. They take these women retreats only. I think they take them in the middle of the woods, and they're all like, you know, averaging in their, you know, I don't, you know, an age group somewhere, I don't know what the age range is. I don't think there's a limit to it, but like, you know, ladies who are fed up with whatever, fucking, oh, the blood clots, the period juice, whatever, the cats are not as good as the babies. Deep down inside, they're not as good as the babies, but you can't tell that to your friends, family, and society. So you get in there with the woods and you just yell, you give this primal scream, and like, yeah! It's like letting little female demons out in the middle of the woods. And some people say it's good, others say, hey, just work out, which to each their own, whatever. As long as you're not doing any harm to anybody, I don't really think it has any difference. It doesn't make an impact in my life. I don't care how you do it. But there's those things. So there's the scream sessions for the femmes, by femmes only. Thank God no guys are doing that. Just a bunch of gorillas in the middle of the fucking jungle. That's all we need. Just you're hiking on a peaceful day, you see a bunch of dudes just screaming. Hairy back scream, primal scream with hairy backs. No thanks. Couple of ladies, loose tits, screaming. Hey, hey, hey. Not for it, not quite against it either. You know what I mean? Loose tits. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that was going on in life. And then I saw the video. It says screen rooms for kids, which just I'm like, are we doing that now? Because it's been some time that I've been out of school, you know. That was definitely never, I don't think never in my experience of schooling when I was a young blood out there, we didn't have scream, we didn't even, it was extremely inappropriate for children to scream. You're spazzing, you had kids spazzing, he's screaming. Might have had a bad day or something. Some kids might have gotten, you know, a little detention, you might get a little whatever feisty, you might get sent home, all this and that, but all nonetheless, there were no scream rooms. But apparently I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if it's just an idea. They're just like perpetuating it on the line, see if it catches fire, bring it implemented in actual schools. But is that what we want? Is that what you want? Your kids going in a scream room yelling the N-word? Is that what you want? Well, I suppose, like, you know, I guess it, you know, that's the thing. If we're gonna, you just don't want the screams to like get out. That's the only, like, because you gotta make sure they close properly. Because if somebody's like yelling whatever, they're yelling. And then if we were to like take this and implement it into other places, I'm just like thinking, why just schools? If we're gonna have screwed into, put it into offices, I hate meetings that last longer. Why do you gotta ask an extra question? Now we gotta stay here for 25 minutes extra, Debbie. Why? Why, Debs? Could have had lunch early. Go into the room and just yell a little bit. Just rip up a couple of fax papers just in the scream room, come out, wipe yourself off and be like, I'm good. I'm good. I love a cubicle, you know what I mean? Fucking doing it for the corporate, man, because I want to be a corporate man one day. Get it, put it into your homes. Put a scream room into your home. When the in-laws are visiting, put a scream room in there. Just step in there, just from the diaphragm. I want you to fucking like yell and scream. Lose the spleen in the middle of your screaming sesh, you know. Get your gut in and just leave your gut behind. Come out refreshed. These things, well, if you need a little bit of, you know, because a lot of things are, you know, it's hard to fight things that are not tangible, because we talk about it. It's like inflation, out of reach housing market. You're like, how do I get myself in that? How do I get a safe, secure, how do I put a, yeah, and some people it's just, so get it. If you can't get into the housing, if you can't get property, get a tiny scream room and just yell for 5-10 minutes. That's better, because we'll fix it eventually. We will fix the housing issue. So as soon as we want to, we will. But until then, there are good products out there like the scream rooms and the rage rooms as well, because those were a thing. I've seen videos of those prior, of course, as rage rooms. If you're not familiar, it's those rooms that you get into and there's like objects, daily on whatever, and you can smash it into smithereens. You could just take a baseball bat or a chainsaw and just go through the entire room like a little Tasmanian devil. Just, you know, speaking in tongues and just causing havoc. And then you get out, dust yourself off, you know, it's, you know, John's being John again. He's good to old reliable John. What'd you do this week? Oh, nothing, just went into the old rage room, like, oh, cool, let's go together. You know, fun activities for everybody. But now that we're incorporating into schooling, that makes me hopeful, because I'm always half of the glass is full of something. I'm always that guy. I'm always like, get a smaller cup so it looks like it's full instead of half full. I'm always that guy. I'm always like, if your cup is half empty, they say it's not the quality of the substance in your cup, it's really the quantity, it's really the size of your cup that matter. If you got a jumbo sized cup and you've only paid for a medium drink, no wonder you're walking out thinking you're not getting a good deal. You know, it's about adjusting and having perspective. So get better cup. I'd say take your own cup. A lot of times they do give up bigger cups because they're like, oh, if it's a tinier cup, you don't know how people handle it. There might be a little bit of spillage. There might be a little bit of suing sesh because somebody is now not able to give birth. The reproductive system is traumatized. The baby is, you know, the baby was burnt on, not on the inside, but on the outside. They'll come up with that. With a good lawyer, I don't know, 2-3 mil settlement. I don't know. It's can only do this probably once. But all I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, that scream rooms are now a thing for children, which is great, because that's the thing. We want to send out screaming kids who will eventually become screaming adolescents, who will eventually become screaming young adults, who will eventually become screaming adults, who will eventually become screaming old people, who will eventually just die from screaming. That's what we want to do. Or get them to, or maybe people who have trouble, like, you know, finding their voice, or people who are trying to like do like, you know, maybe you just want to have a, little bit of privacy and just say something, or you don't even need to scream. You just get in there because it's soundproof and you say whatever you want and then get out. Just, you know, it's like the confession room without the priest, unless they're like recording you. It is see-through, so it's not so much of a, like, I guess if they can't hear you, unless they're recording you, then don't say everything that's on your mind, because, man, or do as you wish. Honestly, it is a safe space, I think. Let's get a sip of this and let's get going, ladies and gentlemen, because it's Wednesday and it's the 25th of September. A lot of things are, of course, happening. I just had a thought to myself with all the Diddy is obviously been in the news cycle for some time now. It's just things are developing. We hear about these things. These figures come to mind: Diddy, Weinstein, Epstein, sex trafficking, all these things. But I was just thinking, like, put the criminality aspect of it all aside, put the, you know, trafficking and on the underage stuff aside for a second. I was just thinking, just human sexuality. Okay, it is a fascinating little thing, because the song and dance we do, the song and dance we all do, and this, like, most of the song and dances that we do, to do the things that we do, to get to the things that, the basic things that everybody's seeking, the song and dance is, because just comparing to other animals, we are a curious, I know this is not a, we are a curious creature in terms of we are weird. We do so many weird things just to get a little booty, just to get the time spent organizing, getting people together, phone calls, meetings. And even if you do it just solo, if you're just like monogamous, just finding one partner with one, you know, just individual with individual, linking up, even starting a family, but even prior to just the linking up within, we do, compared to other animals, that is, compared to other animals, because they just like come out the womb, come out the egg, stumble for like 5 seconds, they're on their feet, a few months later, maybe a couple of years later, they're already hunting, they're starting their own they just like literally walk up to each other, sniff a butthole, and get in there. There's so much, the song and dance that we do too, it's, oh, sometimes I do wish, sometimes, yeah, low-key, I wish we were a little, but then again, it's a privilege and an honor to be a human being, so it is nice. It is just, I'm just saying, it's curious, the song and dance, the efforts, the trouble people go to engage in a little bit of the sexuals. It is, God, the phone calls, the emails, the make sure, you know, you gotta tell these people, but don't tell those people. If you're just linking with one person, if you're just like a monogamous single person dating other single monogamous people, if you're just doing that, so that too is time consuming, it's challenging, it's you know, you gotta spend resources, whether again it's time, energy, money, the whole money, because the whole money thing, it's just, again, so much of the song and dance. I wish we could just like walk up to the opposite sex or whatever you're attracted to. I wish we could just like, you know, just stand there and just like for a second, just whatever, just do a little twirl, or just like, you know, just flex a bicep, or just fucking, you know, just take a look, you know. And it did, because that's the thing too, with other animals, they're more or less all the same, similar looking, and does it really matter? But we are all like, oh, I gotta find what's right for me, and it's gotta tick these boxes. And then at random, you'll have people who have like a set of criteria and boxes to tick, and then they'll meet whoever and be like, you know what, the boxes and the ticking with this guy or this gal, whatever. No, and it doesn't even have to be more or less above the ticking of the box. It could just be at random. So sometimes you meet people that be like, I've got a set of criteria, and then you meet them 2 months later and they're like, well, that doesn't add up anything to the criteria. Well, and I'm back to the criteria again, or no, it's also confusing. It's also challenging, which is why your boy remains dedicated and married to the game of comedy, doing a comedy podcast and hoping to grow and focus on his career, because everything else is so time consuming, is all I'm saying. Again, the human sexuality, as fun as it is, to get a little bit older, you just like begin to realize how much time it takes to just again engage with, have to go sit and tell stories and listen and build bonds and put in trust for a little booty, is all I'm saying. That's just too much work, but that's just my personal opinion. Hence, I think is why we're going to be getting the sex bots any day now. It is a challenging time out there, but nonetheless, good challenges. These are good challenges to be having, because again, it's not like you have plenty of time. Because back in the day, not too long ago, people didn't live that long. Some did, some didn't. A lot of people just, from disease, from lack of resources, despite our challenges, it's still the greatest of all times to be able, despite of all and that's the thing, we're like working bees. We're all just like buzzing around trying to make a better world. I think most people are trying. I think some of us, I think we all go, for the majority of people, I believe in the good of the people and the good of the heart of the people with the good hearts. Like maybe they don't have like good, like I don't know, maybe you've got like some sort of like genetic defect, but I'm talking about like not physical aspect of your heart. I'm like talking about like what's inside is mostly good. I believe in that, and innately I believe in that. I don't believe in the philosophy that says people are innately evil, or I believe people are mostly blank, but mostly like leaning towards positive, and again, depending on whatever, nurture, nature, all that. But I believe deep down inside, most people are just trying, and we all try to the best of our abilities. Of course, we don't always succeed, and that's not the point. The point is the trying, I think. All I'm saying is just looking at the sexuals between the other animals and us. We do a lot of song and dance, but that's humanity, isn't it? A lot of it is a song and dance. A lot of it is just, what is this? What is this layer of, what is this veil of, feels like there's a thing, and then there's you can just peek around it, and there's just another, I wish there was less of a veil. I wish there was just, you could just, you know, put your finger through the mirror and kind of be on the other side, kind of, you know, the song and dance, it is fun. But I do like genuine authenticity, but that is, but even, I don't even know what that means. Because like, I reach out to, that's why I love movies, television, comedy, of course, for specifically comedy. I love wrestling. A lot of times, the things that we do see in the world seem a little bit, you know, seem a little bit fugazi. So to me, the things that are actually fugazi are like the realest things, because there's like levels to fugazi. And if you're like pretending you're not fugazi, you're probably the most fugazi. But if you're pretending for realsies that you're real, but we all agree that it's fugazi, but we know it's, so that makes it the most real. That's why wrestling rules. That's why wrestling rocks. And that's why movies, good movies, are family. Those are all somehow connected in my head. All I'm saying is just, I wish sometimes like we do the song and dance, but like cut to it and be like, no, but for real though. But like for real though, let's like, you know what I mean? It's a weird world. It's a weird world, ladies and gentlemen, of our making, for the most part, of our collective making. Humans are curious little creatures, but that's just a little bit of human sexuality. I think another issue that is on some people's mind, I don't know if it's impacting all of us the same rate or not, but more or less I do hear about it in the news. And when I watch news, or like most of the things I consume happens to be from the US, so I just like incorporate that into like Canadian outlooks as well. I'm like, well, if this is happening, and it must be happening here too. To some degree it is, but like it's probably a little bit less just given the population. And but I'm like, we're right there, we're touching, we're practically Siamese twins. We are basically sharing one pair of tits between us. We are siblings, we are cousins, we are brothers and sisters, we are connected at the hip. We're dance partners, you could say that. We are one and the same, but different, but one and the same. And again, what do? We share a pair of tits. That's what we do. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, I believe shoplifting is becoming a thing. Now, I don't know what this is. This is probably, it's got many reasons. No one direct reason as to why people are shoplifting. A lot of it happened when the Sandy broke out, and then they locked people in. People didn't have money. Maybe they got a little bit of money, and then they took away the lockdowns. You went out there, jobs were a little bit scarce, businesses shut down. People are like, oh, I'm gonna just, you know, it doesn't give you it's not justified to go out there and steal, rob, steal, and all that jazz. But it was happening. So a little bit of it was just like domestic. People are on under like rough times. Another aspect of it is, of course, you get, you know, you hear about these like immigrants, and that's another thing. So immigrants are getting in. You might be seeing some immigrants doing a little bit of shoplifting. It doesn't matter. So whether it's domestic or whether it's brought in, and eventually everybody, you know, either whatever, we merge. I mean, we become one over time. We become more and more one. We become closer and closer. But in the meantime, I was just thinking about ways of how to deal with shoplifting, and I did, because it's become a little bit easy. I do see it, and again, I've not seen, because I don't own a shop. I don't own a bunch of merchandise. I don't have an overhead. Like, I do have a roof over my head, but like I don't have an overhead. I don't have an underhead either. I've just got like one regular head, which I'm happy about. I'm not the type that says I need an overhead. I'm the type of person who needs I got a head, but I need some other head over my head. I need an overhead or an underhead or a side head. You know what I mean? These people are getting like surgeries with an extra head because they can afford it. But the point is that the shoplifting is an issue, and I said to myself, well, how do we remedy this? Because I'm a sloosh kind of guy. Problem, splash, sploosh, sloosh. I like to get in there and get my hands dirty and wet. Hypothetically, metaphorically speaking, that is. But realistically, what are we to do with these shoplifters? I say we make it a law so that you should be able to physically, if somebody's stealing from your store. Now, again, if you're the actual store owner, if it's a smaller facility, shop, whatever you want to call it, you know, store, if you're in there as well, if you own the place, I say if the owner is in there, the owner has definite rights to tackle, in my opinion. Of course, I'm not saying this should get implemented. I'm saying the owner should definitely have the right to tackle the individual, like karate chop the, you know, the gangbangers, these these gang bangers are getting in there with they're just regular people. They're not necessarily in gangs. Some of them are. You know, you should definitely be in there to like, oh, just get in there with an elbow, just, you know, nibble on somebody's earlobe, or just, you know, lick them in the eyeball, make them uncomfortable. You should be able to do that if you're the owner. If you're the employee, I don't know if it's so much. I don't see myself having, you know, experience working in so many different places when I was younger. If I don't have stake in the business, I don't know if I'm getting minimum wage. I don't know if I'm going to be putting my life on the line to like protect items that are however much. I don't see that, but I do encourage it. I do encourage employees to also, if we could pass this, so you get at least like, oh, you know, if we're not going to be tackling, at least, you know, just a little bit of flag activity. Just fucking tag them with a flag, remove the flag and be like, you're it, something, you know, if we're not going to have full contact. But I say you know what, forget the flag tackle, just bring full contact tackle from employees to potential thieves, the thugs, the hooligans, the thieves, the thuggery, the thuggish thieves who are unruly. You know what I mean? There should be a little bit of consequence. You should be, or at least there should be something. You can't just walk into a store, because my heart goes out. My parents used to run and operate a small little teeny tiny family business. That was a long time ago, but not, so my heart does, like, I do feel like it's a lot of pressure on brick and mortar, mom and pop shop, whatever endeavor you're in, whatever services or goods you're buying. My heart goes out, because I know how hard it is to have a small little business while you're competing with bigger corporations and all the other regular competition that's already out there. Now you got thieves going into your store and you can't even do anything. Again, tackling should be on the table. These are just fun ideas for the gang to think about. I'm not saying implemented, but like implemented, you know what I mean? Tasers, next, tasers, owners. There should be owners and also employees with tasers. And like, if you're thieving in the store, there should be a little bit of consequence. You should get tased, at least get tased. Like, I'll tase you, not personally, again, like metaphorical, me will tase you, but like for reals, I'll tase you if you happen to vibrate your way out of the revolving door while still holding on to the items. Then like, fair game, hold on to it, that's yours, you win this one. But like, I do want to see you like do a little bit of shake and bake on the ground. I do want to see you do the warm a little. I do want to see a little bit of foaming of the mouth. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't just be like, these, you know, oh, that's a new Panasonic sound system. I don't even know Panasonic, is it's probably still new. Sony, let's just go with Sony. It's a new Sony sound system. It's gonna cost us like $5,000, whatever, you know what I mean? Just taser, or like bite the ankles, something. Just the back of the knee. Just get a little box cutter, or just back of the knee, if you're not gonna at least make them like fucking, oh, this is gonna make walking extremely difficult if I don't get it fixed. Something. Owners, employees should have something. Next, I would probably like turn it up a little bit if it's like, if they're stealing large couches, if they're walking in there and just, oh, if it's a couple of lazy boys, maybe I can turn a blind eye. But if you're getting a love seat out of the fucking furniture store, you deserve to be maybe not, you know, terminated for good, but like at least pellet guns. Let's start with pellet guns, a little bit of at least paintball, you know what I mean? But again, hypothetically, but also like realistically, there should be maybe, if not the owner, if not the employees, registered sheriffs, new position, because the economy needs new jobs. Sheriff in every store. Oh, sheriff with 2 badge on the tits, dude, just so people know what's up in this store. Well, these shiny badges on, these shiny nips. No shirt, just fucking badges on the nips and guns all around his waist or her waist. Tits, nips, guns. And that way, motherfuckers know what to, you know, expect and shit. So when you get in there, fucking, put a Glock right to your, until you go and like cash out with you. And I don't care if you bring your babies in the store as well. Your baby's gonna have a little Glock right next to his temple just so you make that purchase. Yeah. Scan the item, motherfuckers. But again, hypothetical, of course, we don't need to, you know, we don't need to go that far. Or maybe we do. Because motherfuckers be just walking in stores all willing. That's the thing. Now you got items that are behind bars. Items behind bars. 2024. This is the future. This is the future. Is going to be fucking hoverboards and free Slurpees for everybody. But that's barred up items. Who wants that? You got to press a button and see assistance for an item? What if you just buzz the assistant? They come open the bars or like glass cover, and then you grab the items, and then you make a run for it from the, like, does it do anything? So again, a little bit of more consequence for the thievery. I'm not talking about like if you're like young thievery of like, you know, just kids being children, young, you know, teenagers doing. I'm not saying like, you know, but if it's repetitive and if it's above a certain amount of numbers, just a little bit of, you know what I mean? But then again, I'm not in charge. Luckily, of course, I would have just put, again, a couple of sheriffs with cowboy hats on top of, you know, just higher ground, ready to go. Maybe a little bit of just black paint on their cheeks so people know what's up. Every once in a while, even if everything's going well, just drop a couple of smoke bombs, just make people cough in there. Be like, yeah, make a purchase, get out of here. But also that's probably not these thievings. That's my issue, is that thievery doesn't help stores. As much as I'm not a mall guy or a store going guy, because like I don't, you know, I do want them to exist. I don't want everything to just go on the lines, because that way the large corporations win. That way you just get things shipped to you. It's like your boy. I just got in contact with Bezos, Uncle Jeff Bezos. You know, he's not an actual like relative. Like, we all are connected at the end of the day. All humans are one large family. So I contacted Jeff Bezos because I was looking for a new hat. Winter's around the corner. I see the temperature's already like, you know, it's Canada and this bitch gets cold, all right? Sometimes you just got to get, so I ordered myself a hat, but again, I didn't take the time to go in, and that was on me. I didn't go into a store. I didn't engage in, you know, nobody came up to me and asked me if I needed any help, because you don't want to open up that can of worms. It's just like, you know, you do the best you can. And so I bought myself a hat, and I'm just saying, a little bit of consequence, a little bit of, again, maybe not full like bullets, but a little bit of like, you know, rubber bullets, maybe rubber bullets. Think about that. Just again, ideas, solutions coming together. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Barack Obama, if I'm not mistaken, Barry, is making a new documentary. It's just beautiful. It's a new documentary. Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, they're involved in Netflix, and they're making these. This is beautiful to see this. What is it about? It's about Big Mike. It's about Big Mike. It's about Big Mike and Barry, and it's about them coming together as two undercover CIA agents who then went into politics, who then did the politics, who then stepped out of politics, but like also still remain in politics. Which is, I want to hear that story. Because I keep hearing things, I keep seeing videos, and again, with the age of AI and manipulated videos, you don't know, they're just random videos popping up. They're like, did you know she's got a wiener? And I'm like, okay, I don't know, like, show me more. I'm open to more videos, and I see a dong just a dangling, just in different scenarios. I'm just like, is it an altered video? One video, you could, okay, fine, but like a few videos, and you hear things, and you're just intrigued. And of course, it may not be true, but let's hear that story. Come up with that story. If it's not true, make it true. Go from fugazi to not fugazi. So again, making it extremely real. I don't even know if that made any sense, but it doesn't matter. Tell that story. Tell us how you went in there, you got together. Obama is secretly gay. Michelle Obama is secretly a man. Their children are not their children. Their faces are not their faces. They're wearing masks. All this to come up with that story. I want to see that on now. I don't want to see a Netflix production about the ocean from former presidents who may or may not have been in the CIA's, Central Intelligence Agencies, or may not have been. I don't know these things, but I do want to get a little bit of that story. I'd be like, oh, fuck, no way, that's amazing. Why don't you just come out and just say who you were. Is there a problem with that? Like, to say, like, would people have had a problem if they knew that their president was in the CIA? Is that a bad thing? Because like the whole organization is not bad. I'm sure there had like, again, like every corporation, every business, every religion, every group of people, you have the good and the bad. One of the, maybe the good ones. Got to be the president, probably one of the good ones. Like again, a lot of things went, you know. But at the same time, I do get it. You do a lot of drone droppings, and like you want to maybe historically like kind of like wash people's memory from all the things. Okay, a lot of drone killings in the Middle East, but like also take a look at the ocean. Which look at the fish. Look at the fish. The fish are good. Look at this new fish. It's got teeth and like half a human arm. We don't know what it is. Who put it there? Is it genetically modified? Did we make the fish? Because every day they're finding new species in the ocean, and it's just like, okay, this one maybe separated from the rest of the school. You know what I mean? So this one, fine. You get a whole bunch. You gotta believe there's deals. I just believe because I don't know, but I'm guessing there's like a Netflix. Fine, you get like one ocean documentary. Next one, you know, hair down, cacao on the table. And then bring the kids in and be like, they're not our real kids. That's how deep it would have to go. They're kids, or not. Maybe they're, oh man, I would love to hear one of those stories. I would just want to hear one of those stories, just be like, yes, all right. You know, why do we have to wait for so long for things to like, at least give us the JFK stuff. At least give us the, you know, the actual scoop with all the, you know, the scoop with the real info. But this one also, wouldn't it make for great TV? I think it would break the fucking records on Netflix. People came out and found out that, in fact, Michelle Obama is a man. He's got a huge dong. The kids aren't their kids. The whole thing's a show. Oh man, that would blow minds. But also be like, yes, because it's creatures who are all curious. We'd be like, yeah, we get it. All right. Makes sense. This is just wishful thinking for, you know, because I had a dream last night, which are incredibly real when you're in them. You are, just knee deep in a dream. And what is reality? What is dream state? It is. It's good to dream. It's nice. So come out with that one. You know what I mean? It's just, it's exciting. Just give the people what they want, is all I'm saying. In other exciting events, I believe Diddy's, again, back to Diddy, this is going to be a little bit in the news cycle and the stories that things are still a lot of, you know, it'll be cleared up in some time. What's going on with what? As I'm learning as I go along, I don't like to jump to conclusions, but sometimes I do, so I do. I do like to jump to conclusions. It's fun. It's fun to jump to conclusions, but it's also good. It's good to like take a look and be like, what's outside of, again, whatever is happening. We'll let law and order and justice take action and do law and order and justice, or just ice. You want some just ice? Well, here you go. Would you like them chopped? Would you like them, you know, would you like cubes? Would you like, do you like those like shiny, you know, Japanese ices that they do for the neat whiskey drinks? Like neat is, I know like neat isn't like cool looking, not because the neat wouldn't have any ice, but so if it's just ice, no whiskey, shiny, the ice is shiny. I don't know what they do. They get a Japanese guy that just breathes on the ice and the outer layer starts looking all shiny. It looks like glass. And you're like, oh yeah, it's just ice. But is it though? Is it just ice? The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that Diddy's music is doing well and better than before. It was doing well he's made a ton of money and being in the music industry for a long time now, of course. But apparently I read that his streamings are surging. People are going on, like they're streaming more of his music. Which out of all the, you know, the era that he was in, like he wasn't like that. He was involved in a lot of productions and whatnot, but I never liked, you know, Diddy's music. He was the guy he dropped a line in like a Biggie song and, you know, we were there for the talent. He was there for the support to get whatever. The point is, his music is surging. And I just thought to myself, well, goddamn, if music is surging, and that's due to criminal activity, what other, you know, criminal activity could you do to get the music to be surging? You know, nothing, you know, because like trafficking, you got to look at I don't know what the percentages are. But like if if it's like 18% for like alleged trafficking, if it's 80%, like if you are for whatever business, maybe you're again mom and pop shop, again, maybe you're just like a little, you know, maybe you sell refrigerators, maybe you sell, you know, maybe you sell sex toys, maybe you sell hula hoops, whatever. Maybe a little bit of crime, alleged crime, will make your sales go up. That's what I was thinking. So like nothing major, nothing big, but like maybe, you know, maybe allegedly you are into like, you know, whatever, like jaywalking, allegedly, you know, at least 5% increase, you know, and nothing major, because you don't want to be actually like going out there and like, but if criminal activity makes your shit just bump a little bit, you know, and these times everybody could use a boost because the competition is tight out there. Again, you got humans with like genetically modified DNA that were at one point supposed to be like, you know, we're going to genetically modify them so that they're not prone to AIDS, anti-AIDS babies. And you're like, well, that didn't work, but they're smarter now. They're like coming out, IQs are blowing everybody out of the water because we were thinking of making anti-AIDS babies who are against AIDS, but they're still prone to AIDS, but really smart babies, which is, and then you got the robots, and then you got the fucking animals too out there. So it's just a lot. All I'm saying is, the moral of that story is if Diddy had to do a lot of crime to see 18-20% surge in streaming, I don't know the percentage, to be honest with you. Do a little bit of math and see what works. Again, there's no one remedy in life. There's no one recipe as how to do it. There's no one glove that fits everybody, because there's just like too many. How are we all gonna fit in one glove, fam? That's the old saying. There's not one glove that fits all. That'd be insane if there was just one giant glove that fit humanity, all 8 billion people, 16 billion hands. It would have to be the biggest glove. It would have to be the biggest glove of all time. It would have to encompass all of the globe. In fact, it would just be just like a rubber condom for the globe. And that way you could say, well, that one glove fits all. But we don't have that, not yet anyway, until now. Brought to you by the biggest glove in the world, sponsoring the show, gloves and condoms, brought to you by condoms. So the point is, find out what little activity you could do to get a little bit of just a little bit on the streets, a little bit of the word, a little bit of cred, a little bit of like this guy may or may not, you know, or this lady will, you know, handle fruit at the vegetable aisle and like put it down and like, you know, put her germs on and like pick the one you want and then walk out with it already. Why are you touching every fruit in there? So she's that, you know, that'll be like an extra percentage of like, you're a baker. Oh, my cakes are fucking, because like Sally touched fruit that she didn't purchase. Oh, Sally, she can fuck herself, but her cakes are good. Or something. I'm just, you know, throwing out ideas, whatever you like, or just be like, I'm gonna not steal hubcaps, but like maybe rotate them for an individual, and they'll come back and be like, something is off, but something is on. Just, you know, get in there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I was thinking it's very difficult for your boy to go out there to the bank to do withdrawals, get cash from this. Just as I you know become, you know, just with time, it's one of those things you grow out of. It's just like the times when you were younger, you're like, well, I want a brand name underwear on these butts right here because I want to be this, you know, you put another man's name on your underwear, and I want to wear this guy, so that guy, and then the people look at you and they're like, are you Calvin Klein? Or like, why does it say Calvin Klein on your butt? Why does it say Tommy Hilfiger or whatever? What does it say? Who is this Nike? Are you the Greek god Nike? And you're like, no, I'm just a regular human. They're like, then why are you wearing it? No, with your name's on your arm, because that's the thing people would say. But that stopped. And eventually I got to the point where I'm like, well, that's the same situation. Parallels can be drawn with banks. Why am I going to a random bank? It's not my bank. Why am I going to it? I should create my own bank, which is why I created my own bank, or I'd like to. It's called Your Own Bank. And I thought, because that's the thing, it's odd going to another person or another corporate or another building and be like, here's my money, hold on to it. And I'm going to come back and take some of it out every once in a while. And whatever I need, I'll take, or I'll try, like, you know, but you hold on to it for me. It's an odd concept. It's a really odd concept that we've not saying, like, I'm just saying. That's why I said, you know what, you need your own bank. That's why I created with the world's largest bank, your own bank. It's called your own bank. And you too can deposit all your money in your own bank. That's which is mine. But the name is your bank. And you can deposit all your money with me. And the way it works is just, it's very similar to other banks. It's just basically providing you extra options, and I won't charge as much. Whatever fee they're charging you, I will charge less. And you can put all to your billions, trillions of monies all in your bank, in your own bank. Again, I own it. And whenever you want some of it, you can come back and get it. Now, a lot of similarities. Don't be coming to me asking for all of it all at once, because I don't keep it all with me all at once. I'm holding on to it. You don't worry about what I do with your money, because it's your own bank. It's mine. What matters is that you leave it with me, you come back, get some of it again, a little amount every time you need some of it. Why would you need all of it in the first place? That's why you're getting rid of it in the first place, isn't it? You have a money problem, don't you? You can't be trusted with money, right? That's why you leave it with the bank, your own bank. That's why you leave it. And whenever you want some of it, I will give it back to you, just some of it. Make sure it's not all of it, because if everybody comes in all at once asking for all their money, it's not going to happen. I'm telling you straight up, it's not going to happen. And I won't be put under that kind of pressure. So I will give me all your money. I will charge you some money on top of it. And I'm open about my things that I do with all your money. Sometimes I'll be putting it into other businesses and Fortune 500 companies. I'm going to try to make more bank with our money, with your money, with my money and your bank. I'm going to try to do that, and I will do that. And again, key point: don't ever come asking for all of it, because I don't have it. I don't want to hear it, and you certainly can't be trusted with it. You again, I want to be pointing fingers. But rumor has it, you have a money problem. You can't be trusted with it. That's why you leave it with me. I will take care of it. If everything will be okay, everything will be fine. If it goes astray, something happens to go wrong, we will get bailed out, because it's your own bank. It's your own bank. Banks need to be, so that's what I will get into. Is one of the other things that I should mention to you. You too can open your own bank if you like. It's one of those times that we're like, man, again, what's going on globally again? Manufacture weapons, get into banking. These are all the old, look at what happened in history. Look what has remained, what has withstood the test of time. Banking, major corporations, weapons manufacturing, security. These are the things that have maintained their relevancy more or less. Not so much that you talk about it at a party, but it's, you know, one of those like, oh, this fucking thing still exists. So, ladies and gentlemen, all I'm saying is feel free to leave your money in your own bank. Okay, that's the name. Just want to make sure you know it's my bank. It's called your own bank. But it's my money. Yours is like not like I don't need. What is all this talk of claiming what you don't need all of it? Who needs all of it all at this? Are you gonna walk around with $1 billion or $1 million? Look like an idiot? You know how heavy $1 million is? You don't look fucking retarded out there, you idiot. So leave it with me. If you want some of it, I will give you some of it. But honestly, just leave it with me. Like, why would you even want some of it? Like, just, you know what I mean? So, ladies and gentlemen, there's great news. There's good news. There's news. There's just stories happening in and around the world. We just had the first lady to commit the suicides in Switzerland. An American lady flew to Switzerland. She climbed in a pod that they've created. There's a suicide pod now available in Switzerland. It's one of those countries that allows suicide. It's legal. But there's been some stories that are coming out around. There's like some controversy around as to how she got there. Maybe she asked somebody, you're not allowed to, like, it's a whole fuzzy gray area situation. And you're not supposed to help, but then like if somebody, it's a whole thing. you know, there's, you know, ethically speaking, should we have suicide pods? Should we have assisted dying? Are these good things to have? Are these, you know, the pod with the, so we climb in a pod, it actually looks at least like aesthetically, if you looked at it, it does look, it looks like a, you know, it looks like a tanning bed. It looks like a hyperbaric chamber. I've never been in one, but it looks like, I would imagine that they look like one of those. It looks like a little, you know, flat iron. It looks like a little just, but like, you know, modern flat iron. It's got that shape. It's kind of like alien, but it's like a little, it's foreign, it's new, it's a thing. It's, you know, it's out there. It's novel. We've never had this form of it before. Like so it's a chamber, you climb in it, you press a button, fills up with nitrogen, taking out the oxygen. You twitch a little bit. You twitch a little bit, press the button, fall asleep, twitch a little, muscle spasm, twitch, and then eventually stop breathing, and then you die. So we have that. We never had that. Like, the only other time that we had that I could think of is like when the Nazis put people, specifically Jewish people, in gas chambers and killed people, and that was called eugenics. So people did that. And a lot of people, most people were like, don't do that. And we went to war with people, because people were doing that. So people did eugenics, and we're like, no, that's a bad idea. We should never do this. Life is sacred. Everybody's the same, and like, we're all the same. And like, oh, everybody's beautiful and something. And we all did that together, like not like collectively, like, you know, a lot of people did that. Like Canadians did that. The fucking Canadians did the Black Devils did that. The Canadian Black Devils did that, motherfucker. When the shit hits the fan, you call the Black Devils, motherfucker. Get in there with they're like the special forces of the special forces when it comes to wartime. When everybody's tired of the cold, when everybody's like, can we do more? The Canadian Black Devils show up, and it's fucking go time, sister. So the point is that we had to go to a lot of lengths and trouble, and again, exert a lot of energy. So we get rid of chambers filled with gases. But now, fast forward, 2024, reverse these. Suicide is another spin you can put on eugenics. And it's my problem with the whole thing is, if I were to have a problem, I'm supportive of everything. Most things I try to gain as I'm learning, because there's a lot to learn, and we're doing this one step at a time. I'm just learning to be more supportive of everything and everyone. Whereas when you're younger, it's easy to point out, you're like, and then you get older, you're like, why don't you just get out there and start doing things in life? But that happens. That happens a little bit as a good thing. I'm happy about that. It took some time, and it's still an ongoing process. Not saying we're anything. We're just doing things together now. I believe one step at a time, one queef at a time, one lickety old clit at a time, one cock stroke at a time, one. You know, you get the point. The point is that I'm trying to be supportive. So I'm not going to say that it should be up to, I guess it is, because I'm just saying I'm a little bit disappointed in the placement of the suicide pod, because it was like, again, it was like around like somewhere in the woods in Germany, maybe around like maybe near the border of Germany. And Germany's it's not a small country. It's not a magnificent, it's not a giant country. This is a good chunk of country, somewhere in the woods. In the Black Forest, somewhere in the Yerman forest, somewhere in the Yerman bush. Oh, that Yerman bush to die for. Somewhere deep, knee deep in the Yerman bush, it was placed. Lady somehow got in, climbed in, pressed the button, maybe with the assistance of some people, maybe not, maybe, I don't know. There's legalities. People are trying to figure it out. Is there any criminal activity going on? Did she really commit suicide, or did they kill her? Tune in next time, or just continue watching. We'll figure it out together. Or maybe we won't, because it's not up to me. And I'm all the way over here in Canada, and they're all the way over there. I can't do fucking field work while I'm here, can I? All right, then. All right, so lower your expectations all the way here on that. Just your expectations are good. They're at a good level, but like, you know, yeah, okay, let's move along. The point is, I'm a little bit sad. I'm a little bit just frustrated with the placement of it, like the woods. Not a lot of people can see it. Because the moral of this story, it's essentially, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, the moral of this story is that the human story, as much as we've evolved, and as good as we cooperation, the teamwork, but like sometimes the fuck shit that we do. And one of the core stories that people should be learning from a young age, despite the fact that it's good to do teamwork, despite the fact that it's like you just want to put in them. What I'm just trying to say is put it in the town square or middle of like downtown, so like people see. So it's like a message to younger folks, and you got to get after it out there, because again, it's a matter of resources. Because if you have enough of them, you'll be able to like, you know, whatever, I'm in pain, get medicated. If you can afford it, get medicated to the gills. Who cares if you, because you've seen the billionaire rich people, they're like, you should have been dead like 70 years ago, just if it was just left to natural causes. You see them with liver spots all over their face, and they're peeling, and they're just sausage fingers, and just like that, you know, gills on the side, just with a pig heart and a raccoon ass. It's just like, what is that? It's like, that's the prince of wherever the fuck. So it's not like people, it's a matter of people oftentimes find that they don't have enough resources. They don't want to be a burden to themselves and other people around them, i.e. family, i.e. television. So they opt for ending their lives, whether it's mostly due to lack of resources. Now, in real dire circumstances, again, going back to the ethics of it, because I don't know, people should have the right to do whatever. That's free agents, it's free adults, it's free ballers. You should have the right to do whatever with. Of course, I value life. I want people to live, and you know, but then again, you gain a little bit of more perspective. Not to say, you know, there's always room to always trying to grow and do more. So maybe some people are in such a condition that they absolutely think that is the only option, and by, you know, whatever. So that's, I'm personally not a fan, but other people, if you want to, by all means. But all I'm saying is put it in the center of the town. Put it like, because it's forest, nobody gets to see you twitch. Nobody's like, you need to remind people that it's a race. You need to remind the rest that it's a race. You need to remind people to get after it, you know, because then you won't, because people, a lot of times, they just depend on, you know, you see just perspective. And I don't blame the young folks. I don't blame, because I'm not, you know, I'm not old, but I'm not like young like I used to be anymore. I'm somewhere in the middle of things. Like, I'm just like, I don't blame the younger generation. I don't blame the older generation. I don't blame really anybody. I just see humans as humans, and people are trying. But it's, you know, you see a retarded child whose family is affluent, they give him a microphone, and she goes on TV and yells about the climate, and you're like, clearly something, you know, it's about a balance, keeping the balance of teaching your kids hard work, but also keeping lifestyles maintainable and within reach, so that people don't crawl into pods. But again, if they are going to crawl into it, put it at the center, put it in a mall. They should be in malls, so to scare others. All right, the programming is to scare the others, so to work hard and show up to work, man. Where's the pod for you, man? Lady, that's what you got to do. So I'm just not happy about the placement of it. Perhaps in schools, and that'll get, if you want grades to go up, put a couple of pods in this, instead of these scream rooms for the children, put a couple of suicide pods, and just have adults, not for the kids of course, but like for adults who have just like, oh, things are not, and they crawl into, and then people will be like, at a young age, they'll be like, well, I don't want that for my son. That way you see the math fucking going up the wall. Next thing you know, we're beating, you know, all the nations in math, science, and all the arts and physical activity, everything, I think. Or people might get super depressed. I actually don't know, but it's worth it, because right now it's in the middle of the woods. It's barely any attention. And to be honest with you, I don't want that to be some, like, I don't want to go camping and just, you know, smell something foul and see somebody twitching in a pod. Keep that normalized in the center of the city, so that if we're gonna be selling eugenics, at least like do it properly. Don't go like, this is like, don't make it a fringe thing. Make it a, you know, bring it in. Let's just bring it in. Let's really bring it in. Let's not, you know, beat around with it. Let's just bring it in. Put it right there by the ice cream stand. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that it's all of us coming together every day, showing up for one another in many ways. And of course, we just do the things that we do. And I believe one other thing that caught my attention, that came on the old radar, which was just like, what are we doing here? Ladies and gentlemen, I believe I was reading a news article about the Ryan Ruth, the fella who the would-be assassin, the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump. news article disclosed a key piece of information, which I was just like scratching my ass. Normally you'd think I'd scratch my head, but my ass was itchy, so I scratched my ass right around, like not around the hole, or just raw ass, scratching it and thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, he's been charged with, you know, a bunch of charges, you know, attempted assassination of a president, all other stuff that was, you know, he had some criminal past behavior, carrying weapons while you're, you know, stuff. But the important thing, the thing that I didn't expect to see was that he left a note in a box, and he gave this box to somebody. He gave a box to somebody. He's like, I want to go do something. Here's a box. Events unraveled. Later, the individual who was remaining unnamed, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, whoever it was, they contacted the authorities, I believe the police, and they're like, Ryan Ruth has dropped off a box, and I think it's, you know, you guys should probably take a look at this box. People got the box, the authorities got the box, they opened the box, they found some items in there, but inside the box, one of the curious things that was disclosed to the public, which I found a little bit odd, again, left me scratching my ass. It said he left a note in there indicating that there's a bounty, that there was a bounty. He left a bounty. He's not dead or anything, not yet anyway. I don't know if they're gonna, you know, murk him in a cell or something, but the point is, he said there was a bounty. He left a $150,000 bounty for whoever finishes the job. And up until I read that article, I'm like, well, okay, we knew what we knew, which was very limited, would-be assassin, but nobody even knew about the idea of a bounty. But now that's saying whoever finishes the job, there's a $150K bounty. And now you know, and I'm all for sharing. I'm all for like, well, it's just curious just to see things that get, you know, disclosed to the public, what gets withheld in terms of information. I'm like, are you guys trying to kill the man? Is that what you're trying to do? Is that like, I'm so, once again, confused, bedazzled, but also, you know, just curious and enjoying life, but also wanting to learn and grow and all that stuff. So I'm just like, wait, what is happening here? And big picture, still pieces, stories have changed. Stories are changing. Certain things, we will have to wait and see what unravel. But I was just curious. I'm like, because now not only have you given the idea of that there is a bounty on the president's head, you're saying that the job it'd be available if the job is fit. Why would you? It's a little bit odd from the authorities, from the, you know, media conglomerates that get a hold of these sources. It's all confusing unless we get like knee deep into like conspiracy. Let's put our conspiracy tinfoil hats on for a second, make it fun for a second, hypothetically speaking, of course. Unless, low-key, we do need to, I don't know why, I don't know, like very, like, rarely do I know why, but like eventually I think we're gonna have to, again, continue the war, eventually I believe we gotta go to war with Iran. I believe that's gonna, I don't, like, again, I just don't want war but at the same time, I don't know much about anything, so I'm like, I guess, like, higher ups with way more pay grades with, like, you know, some people don't even have a pay grade, but that's beside the point. But war, and I'm just thinking to myself, which president would be more geared or like better suited to go to war, extended global war? Who's more easily, do we want the president that's more easily, let's say, manipulated by the shadow government? Do you want somebody who is more of a, you know, more of a leader type who will take the fight to whoever needs to be fought? So I don't know. Is there a long game of making a martyr out of Trump? Is that the thing to make? Because maybe thinking, again, storylines that need to kind of get embedded into the collective psyche every few decades, because like it would get the psyche of the masses to be like, we've been, you know, you put a story out there, maybe it even happens for real, and you hear connections. I mean, you know, and then it gives us a reasons to go in and do the thing. And I get it. Sometimes you do need to maybe go in there and do it, because just goodies and baddies, and a lot of things are in the gray. And I'm just saying maybe they're gonna try to make again, that's just one guy. I'm not on any, so I'm just a curious little fella just asking questions, and I like stories. But low-key, I would like, if you are planning on that route, I would hope that doesn't happen. Of course, I don't want that to happen. If it were to happen, I would hope that it doesn't really happen. You know what I mean? I would hope that like Donald Trump just gets plastic surgery, shaves the head, gets a couple of tattoos, he's still fucking rolling around, hold this, you know, large national funeral, collectively get the country together. The West is now united once again, strong, and we shall fight the whatever that we need to. And again, how do you make bank? Get into, again, banking, weapons manufacturing companies, and together we will either, I don't know, it will be good. That's what it will be. Whatever happens will be good. Whatever will be, I think. I don't know. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of curious activity. Why would you say there's a bounty on his head? Why would you, stupid? Unless you really want to kill a man. God. But then again, I'm working on I'm scratching, trying to scratch and get information. So when there's limited access to information as a regular person, it's so, oh God, it's just, it's like a scratch and win. And there's most often there's like just barely anything, and then you're working with just a lot of just gut, a lot of vibes, a lot of just different hats to try on and just see like, where would you take it if you were to take it? Putting ideas out there, leave a comment, support the show, subscribe, tell your family, friends, and your loved ones. And I'll be back here again on Friday. And until next time, keep on queefing, and I'll queef for you, and I'll queef with you. And we will fight the fight together. And we will queef the queef. The people that queef together stay together. Peace.